we're going to have so much fun. This is like brand new. I've got so much to go over, so much to teach you. Missed you all. You're a great group. Hopefully you're just ready to learn. So if this is your first time, or even if it's not, get used to the chat. I keep it as interactive as possible. That's what makes my workshop super unique and fun because I do learn. We're going to learn from each other. And there's a point in this workshop, we're actually going to type in our favorite vendors. So it'll be really fun because we can learn from one another. I'm going to give you, I told you 10, I listed literally 30 by category. So a lot of good stuff. Let me get to this. I am going to get to my screen share so that you can see my many different slides as you're jumping in. You guys are wonderful. Wow. I thank you for all the love too in the chat. I noticed you guys are wonderful. So hopefully you should be able to see my screen and also probably see me. Looks like it's all working. I'm glad you got used to it. I noticed all of you, thank you for chatting in where you're calling in from. I noticed there was someone from Australia, from all over the world. Welcome. This is awesome. Okay. I'm going to talk fast. So here's a couple things I want you to know. I am going to take questions at the end. Don't worry. If you have a burning question, I am here for you. Because I'm going over a lot of screens, I recommend, I gave you notes. They're not critical. You can always download them later, but they're helpful. I always like when I watch a workshop that goes over a lot of screens, keep your phone handy. You can take quick screenshots or photos of the screen. That's what I do, because I'm going to be fast. So if you're like the person that's like, go back, don't worry, a replay will go out tomorrow morning to you. But the live is where it's at. And live is also where I'm also giving all of my favorite vendors. So you definitely want to be in this live. So let's talk about what you're going to learn. We're going to talk about the industry outlook. I've got all sorts of good stats to share with you about, and also kind of where it's going and how you can even adjust your business if you are struggling. I've got some tips for you. We're going to talk about staging pricing. We're going to talk about how you price and deliver on your consultations. We're going to calculate your costs for vacant staging projects. I'm going to show you how you shop to the trade, shopping wholesale. I told you, I talked to a gal who's, I know people go through all of these kind of interior design, kind of online trainings. They don't even talk about how to shop wholesale. You're going to love this because I'm going to give you all my favorite vendors. I'm going to show you how you can tap in and find out when the good markets are, and you'll be like a kid in the candy store. That's one of the huge beauties of being a stager and designer, by the way. One of a huge positive. I'm going to talk about the bidding mistakes I see people make. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me in just a bit, but let me just say I've seen them all. And then at the end, I'm going to give you my mind-blowing, super simple way to bid any vacant home in any area for 2 minutes. Literally, this is a pricing epiphany that I've added to my training 2 years ago. I only give this workshop maybe even once a year, not even that, because it's super valuable. Any other trainer would definitely charge you for it. But I'm glad you're here and it's available to you. And then if I give you all of this good information, is it okay if I give you a little bit of a special and a little sales spiel about my training? Is that okay? If so, in the chat room, put yes. So giving you all sorts of great information, but I always have to preface that I am going to tell you a little bit about me and my trainings. Okay. Who is this for? You are in the right place. If you are a new home stager or designer, if you're thinking about the industry, I know a lot of you have been cruising around wondering if this is for you. You are absolutely in the right place. If you're an agent looking into staging or wanting to learn more about it, you're in the right place. My veteran home stagers, trust me, you're going to learn a lot here. Design enthusiasts, color lovers, you're in the right place. Oh my gosh, you guys are good. You know I love emojis and I see you're doing them. You're in the right place if you like to see photos go from this to that, because I like to show those. And these are my people. So HSR grad Amy Quinn, I do the best of the best. This is one of the winners. So I like to showcase photos throughout my trainings because I know that that's what you love to see, right? So a little bit about me, I have to go back because I'm not very different from you all. In that before I had these two little baby guys, these are my kids many years ago, I ran a marketing, recruitment, and research company, and I would train Fortune 500 companies on how they would use this new technology, the internet. I'm dating myself. Yes, this was in 1998 through 2002, 2003. And I just loved what I did, but it didn't really fulfill me. So I kind of stepped away and had my babies. This is about when I had my first baby right here. And then about the time I had this guy about this photo, I decided I was going to do something I love to do. And you know what I loved? I always loved design. So design, and if that sounds like you in the chat, go ahead and say, that's me. So I love design, and I thought, how can I pursue this passion? I didn't want to have to go back to school, 4-year degree, that sort of thing. And then I found out about staging. And I started my staging business, Staging San Diego, own that domain to this day. And my sister and I did it together. My sister is a home stager to this day. Unfortunately, she doesn't live in San Diego anymore. But that tells you a little bit about me. I've been in your shoes, and it wasn't long after running that business that I had so many people ask me about this new staging. Nobody knew what staging meant. This was over 15 years ago, you guys. And my husband wisely said, Audra, you are so good at training. You need to bottle up everything you've learned, and you need to put it in a training. You need to expand upon it like you always did those Fortune 500 companies, because if you want this industry to grow and be fantastic, then you need to step in and do that. There were no good trainings at the time, nothing available to people. So that's what I did. And here I am. That was over 15 years ago. I started the first online mixed media staging and design training back in 2006. 15 years. We have grown this industry, and it has been off the charts. And now everybody knows what staging is. Yes, thank you, HGTV2. I blog for the National Association of Realtors. I've won some awards. But the thing I absolutely love is I love talking to people who were just like me over 15 years ago, who have a passion for design, and helping them develop successful businesses doing what they love. So I teach both staging and design in my training. So if you ever see this logo, HSR certified, those are my people. And if you are my person and you are on this training, you know I love the love. I get so terrified every time I do these. I still get nervous. I don't know why. So I always love the love in the chat room. You're the reason I do this, and I absolutely love it. Then I started a color training because all my people said, I'd love to learn more about color. And then most recently, e-design. So any of these logos, that's a little bit about me. And then these boys have grown up, right? Time flies. But I tell you this little history of me because I'm really no different than you. And I know a lot of you have been looking into this industry for many, many years. If that's you, go ahead in the chat room and say, yep, that's me. Yeah. And if you would in the chat, please don't do any video or photos. I just have to ask you because it does get distracting. I don't want to have to not do chat. I love chat, but we have to keep it to chat. Thanks, you guys. All right. Let's talk about the good news and the bad news about our industry. Yes, there's bad news. I'm going to be honest. The staging industry is hot, 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 right? Bad news is that's more staging competition in your area, right? Sometimes it also means the homes are selling so fast, they don't need a stager, right? Have you heard that? Some of my stagers have. Go ahead in the chat room and put, yes, I have. Good news, you do not need to be certified to be a stager. You can actually say, I'm going to be a stager. I'm going to start this business tomorrow. Go for it and hang a shingle. The bad news is those kind of stagers sometimes, because they don't know about contracts, pricing, any of that, they're undercutting the staging industry a little. Good news, great news. This is the thing I say, always start with staging first before you go into design. That's why I teach both, but I start with staging because stagers have these target markets, and they're called real estate agents who are looking for them on a regular basis to go in and help them on their listings. That's good news. You have a very specific target market, very easy to find and market to. Bad news, well, agents can be tough negotiators, right? They know exactly what they want. Good news, buyers are more savvy, and they want that model home look. So different than 15 years ago. I mean, they want that home to look spectacular, right? Bad news, that model home look can be expensive to create. Am I right? All right. And go ahead in the chat room if you want ooh and ah over some of these photos. I kind of love, look at the view of this. What do you think? Those are pretty nice, right? Good. But I have really good news for you, because I have been kind of chirping this for a while, and everybody's asked me, is there, a housing bubble? What's going on? I got good news for you. Not a housing bubble. And I actually called the housing bubble. If you followed my blog in 2006, it was 2006, I said, sell now or forever hold your piece of property. I wrote that blog post. Anyway, not that I have a crystal ball, no one does, but here's some good news. I always look at stats and figures. Love to read. And here is some. We are behind 4 million homes. Builders have not been building all of these years. So inventory is low. Right here you can see it's just pure economics. Inventory is low. What does that mean? That means that this market, the housing market, the bubble that we saw, I mean, and all of us lived through it as stagers. How many of you on the chat room were a stager living through that 2008 housing crisis? I'd love to know if you've been staging then for that long. I'd love to hear my veterans. Go ahead. But we're not there. This is not what we're experiencing. More good news. 15-year fixed rate mortgages are nearing a record low. Wow. Those mortgage rates can keep going up and people are still going to be buying and selling because they're just so incredibly low. Good news. Hot housing market drives home fix-ups. How many of you guys, if you are in the industry, you have seen, maybe you started in staging, but now you're doing a lot of redesign and design, right? Because everyone's calling you for that kind of work. So if you are that in the chat room, yes, I'm really curious. I love to see it. So that's good. People want advice. Sellers need guidance on what to renovate. They need help even before they put their home on the market. They are looking for stagers. Great news, guys. It is a good industry. And I know a lot of us are in the vacation rental industry, Airbnb. I have a training in my training. It's actually part of my home staging and design training where I cover all that, tell you how to market it, give you all the forms, everything. The vacation markets, Airbnb rentals are still expected to stay hot. Right? Some of us have so much work we don't know what to do with. It's very exciting. The house barometer, and I don't know if you notice these articles, I pulled them all. They're all in the last month. Pretty much. This is July 14th. I love the house report. Everyone, strong quarters, interior designers, everybody in our industry, very exciting time. Can you feel it? If you are that person, it's a very exciting time to be in our industry. Demand for home professionals is going to remain strong through 2024. Homeowners are spending more money because they're starting to get it. You kind of get what you pay for, and furnishings are not cheap, and they're actually sometimes harder to get. And homeowners are looking for specialty services. I'm going to get to that because some of you may have to think about how you want to pivot in your business or focus on a niche. There are so many ways now. Or maybe you say, you know what, I just want to do outdoor design. Go for it. Right now, that is hot. Outdoor design, home office design. You can be that specialist in your area. There's so much room for everybody. That's the exciting part. All of us on this call, whether we are designers, stagers, or just looking into this industry, there's room for all of us. There's so much need. And in fact, I read even somewhere else that a lot of interior designers are 8 weeks out. They can't even take a client for 8 weeks. And this kind of shows you, this is the residential remodeling index. And I know this is teeny, but it's showing 2024. It's just going to keep going and going and going. Anyway, what does this mean for you? Let's talk pricing. Now, inside my training, I have this private Facebook group. It's called Stagers Connect. It's super active. It's where we share a lot of stuff. And there was one post that kind of precipitated this workshop for me, for everybody. And it was a post by Krista, who was so frustrated because pricing frustrations. She lost out on 4 vacant jobs due to price. And she just feels like, what is she doing wrong? What can she do to improve? And I have to circle, she had almost 100 comments like right away. And has that been you? Do you feel that way? Especially with pricing? I'm assuming for some of you, that's why you're on this call. I have a lot of good advice for you. A lot of different things you're going to walk away and tweak in your business. Because here's the deal. And we're going to get back to that. There's a lot of noise in this industry. So I'm speaking to people who are actually thinking about getting in. A lot of you were just thinking about the industry. Starting a business is not easy, but it's not hard to be better than the competition. I have good news for you. If you're willing to put in that work, it is not hard to be better. It's not hard to think through the strategies and be better, especially when you have guidance. Staging is the only cost to the seller that actually makes them money. That's why all of these statistics I showed you are so hot right now. People are getting it. They're like, what do I renovate? I need to talk to my stager. I need to talk to my agent. Some of you are agents, I noticed on the chat. And it said that a lot of sellers are looking to the agents like, where do I go to begin to know what renovations to make. So that's where your stager comes in, and this is what's good to know. Structure, focus, mindset matters as an entrepreneur. I know you know that, but I always have to repeat it. Vacant home staging is not hard when you break it down, because I know a lot of you guys are pretty afraid of that. I'm going to break it down for you here just really quickly. I only have an hour, but I'm going to try and talk as fast as I can to get you all the information. Let's talk pricing. Vacant versus occupied, renting versus owning, furniture, inventory, right? A lot of you asked about that. How do I get started? How do I do this? So I'm going to show you some numbers. I don't want you writing these down, because I'm going to show you why sometimes some of the numbers that we see lead us to a lot of price confusion. One of the great things about the staging industry is it's kind of the wild, wild west of design, right? You can, like I said, anyone can hang a shingle and do that. And we're very proud of that. We're not going to change that as an industry, as far as I know. I love that Reese is pretty firm on that, because we want anyone with that passion and talent to be able to start a business doing what they love. I'm 100% behind that. But part of it means we don't have a lot of structure when it comes to our pricing. This is an old RISA price survey, but you can see in each state, it's all across the board. This is one of those things you just take a quick photo from your phone. Now, in their brand new RISA survey, now this one is only in the last 5 months, so it's pretty awesome. If you're wondering what RISA is, it's the staging association. It's the Real Estate Staging Association for our industry. So you can look them up, Real Estate Staging Association. I think I have a link to this in the notes. I'm not sure. This is pretty new. I just added it. The average fee for a walk and talk consultation for the majority of stagers across the country, $200 to $300. So I've been telling people about that, long, depending on where you are in the country. Shreveport, Louisiana, or Newport Beach, California. Obviously, cost of living's a little different. Eke it up if you're Newport Beach. Eke it down, Shreveport, you know what I mean? So that's, kind of your cost of living area, and all you need to do is look at your housing to know that. And you're not deviating much. Start at that $250 for your 2-hour consult and go from there. Interesting thing, it also said the average fee for a written consultation. Do you notice something about this? Do you think the average fee for a written consultation went up that much? Do you notice? If you did, go ahead and see it. This is why I don't recommend you go home and do written consultations. You're doubling your time. You're making half the money. So that's a hot tip. If you're one of those stagers doing that, don't. Do a walk and talk. Just do it at the house. That's just my hot tip for you today. I still see people doing that, and you're really not making much money doing that. Takes a lot of time. If you're on the chat room and you do written consultations, am I right? Takes a lot of time. I'm not seeing much chatter. I know you're all typing right now, so I can see it. It's probably, you guys are great. I got like 400 people on the line. Yes, thank you. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. Just hand it to the seller, let them do the writing, and you just overwhelm them with all the cool stuff they need to do. Just tell them everything. Don't hold back. You're getting paid for that, right? All right. So here's the newest RISA price survey for staging a kind of average home. And I mentioned all these rooms, 5 rooms. I'm going to mention this because when I get into my super simple formula that you're going to love, it kind of comes into play. 5 rooms. For a vacant, which is the dark blue, majority of stagers charge between $2,000 and $3,000, some between $3,000 and $4,000, and a little bit, further up. Doesn't really talk. The next one is luxury level. Here's the luxury level. Obviously, that's a little bit of price, $3,000 to $4,000, and $4,000 to $5,000 range. You can see that. So it's kind of cool to see. Again, 5 rooms. That's a lot of spaces. Keep your questions for later. Don't worry, I will be taking your questions. And then to make matters worse, on another site, it said all home stagers charge a consultation fee for $150 to $600 for 2 hours. $150 to $600. Is that helpful for you to know how much to charge for your consultation? Right? So you can see where the confusion comes in. There is serious price confusion in our industry because a lot of times we're talking apples to oranges. I already just told you, if you're starting out, occupied consultation, not vacant. I'm not talking vacant. $250, 2 hours. Give them all the great information. Don't do a written report. Do the walkthrough. Have ideally a report they can write notes on. I'm going to show you kind of what ours looks like, and away you go. So if you had any question on that. But here's where the price confusion comes in for vacants. The agent is thinking you're bidding and they're going to get a home that looks like this for the vacant, but instead they get something like that from the low price leader stager, right? Have you seen that? I know a lot of you in the chat room. Can you say that you've seen that? It happens. Okay. Save your questions, guys. Yeah, because I got to blaze through so many good screens to show you. So here are some hot tips. You need to always define your deliverables very clearly. Do not be elusive. Be very clear. Present that, set that pure expectation, be honest with your return on investment. You need to make money. Package your services. This is pricing 101. You want to be able to package, you want to be able to value down to fit certain budgets if you can. I'm going to show you how. Have a stair-step pricing. They may not get the whole enchilada if they're not willing to pay for it, right? But you're very clear on where you stand. And then especially dial in your output so that you are the stager of choice. What do I mean by that? Well, a couple things. This is one reason why, and here I'm going to do a little bit of selling in my training. There's so much value in the sense that you're literally I give you a lot of the copywriting, a lot of the verbiage. I've seen what looks good. Guys, I've been doing this over 15 years, and I don't hold anything back. These are forms. This is how I would describe the walk and talk consultation, where it's completely dialed in. It's talking about all the stuff that they're getting, so you can see all the value that they're getting, and the price, and it's very clear, right? No mystery. Is there a mystery to what the client's getting here? Go ahead and put it in the chat room. And then in our training in Word, I give people these staging reports that they can dial into their business and they can have on a clipboard with the client. So again, huge dialing in the output. The other stager gave the client a notepad. This stager is going to give them checklist, photo examples, hot tips. And I have really good news for my current members, because we're moving that staging report into a Canva template for you. And you'll see that in the next week. This is part of why I'm always improving on my training. Look how pretty this looks. That's the secondary page. And then there's another page where it would be really easy for you just to print it in Canva. Wow, right? How cool is that? So I know I'm the only trainer that does these Canva templates, but they're huge. So you're looking pretty good, right? So you're like, Audra, forget the 250. I'm going to charge 350. I'm looking pretty good now, right? So that's the point. Part of it. So let's keep talking. Vacant versus occupied, because some of you are thinking, okay, what does that mean? Do I just need to be able to do both? Do I have to have a bunch of inventory? Where do I store it? Right? All those questions go through people's head. And this is what I tell people. You actually can find your niche. I find a lot of people fall into more vacant consultation. If you are a stager in the chat room, I'd love to know if you have a niche. Is it occupied, consultation based, or vacant, or color? Go ahead and put it in the chat. I'd love to see it for everyone else. But here's the deal. If you have monetary constraints, if you can't even afford $1,000 training that's going to give you your business in a box, then this consultation base is for you. You need more time flexibility. You're maybe retired or you have kids at home. If you like to work with people and offer solutions, and if you like the challenge and creativity of working with people's items, pick a model that is, I call it a zero overhead. People take my training, they don't spend anything more. Client like this calls them into the house, and then they dial it all in. They do the consultation walk and talk, tell the client everything they need to do. They go shopping with the client, buy in those extra pillows and tchotchkes. Look how cute. They bring in some live plants. This is a multi-million-dollar home, and that's a staging day on top of it. And away they go. So it's zero overhead. They didn't have their own inventory. They didn't have to. You could also have your own inventory and rent it to them and the form of art and tchotchkes, but you can keep it as simple as you like, and you're just focusing on walk and talk consultations with clients. And I do have stagers who do this. So how do you make money? If you have 2 staging consultations a week, that's $500. Let's say it turned into a staging day like that home, another color consultation, you're making $77,000 a year on 13 client hours a week. You're marketing yourself the rest of the time and then working on referrals or whatever. Add a day of move-in redesign. Maybe another staging client said, hey, I'm moving in. Can you help me? Sure, we can. Of course we can. We know their furnishings intimately. So that's over 6 figures for 20 client hours and no overhead, really. I mean, you just have a very your cell phone, your biz, you work from home. This is a great industry because of that. And that's one of the things I love about it. But the key to consultation success is you kind of do need to broaden your services. You need to really focus on agents who are all about the walk and talk. That's what you're doing. And then you need to upsell, move and redesign. That your process should include that. And then you start with staging, you add redesign, e-design, holiday design, you expand into color. Color is a gateway. People are afraid of it. They just are. Color offers the most bang for your buck. And color trends have changed drastically. So numerous decisions. So this is where I'm going to give you my first, write this down, coupon code on my color training, my award-winning color training. It's a 3-day online course, and the coupon code is Dream Big, all caps, no spaces. So when you go to full price payment of my color course, and I'm going to give you the link to my courses so that you can, actually, I think I'm going to, it's here. Let me look it up. Uh-oh, let's see if this is it. Let's see if this makes sense. Yeah, there it is, coupon code. So that little button, get it now, will open up another screen into my courses page where you can see, you can put that coupon code on the color training. So I'm gonna, okay, but I'll send you an email too to line up. But the color training, yeah, it's, if you are nervous about picking colors, takes all the nerves out. I walk you through it. I give you a process. I even show you to market it. I give you all the forums. I completely redid this training this year. It is totally updated. I give you a binder where you sort through, show you how to get your large samples that you can give to your clients, and then you sort and you put them in by tabs so you are like looking good. And I do all that, and $50 off, I think gives you a discount of $6.99 for that training. Unbelievable discount. And I give you a color cheat sheet. That's kind of the most important, where all the colors to kind of tell you when they work, how they work, that sort of thing. So it's all there, all the forms. So if you have any nerves or you're thinking you want to get into that, it's a great business. In fact, I just got this email from Patricia July 29th. So she's like, in fact, she was responding to my pricing workshop. She's like, hey, I wanted to send you a big thank you. 4 years ago, I took your color consultant course. Going into it, I always figured I could make color consulting a part-time gig, bring in some extra money. She was probably just like you guys on a workshop. Since lockdown ended in my town 15 months ago, my idea of part-time gig has turned into a pretty lucrative career choice. I am making very good money. I am solidly booked, and I always seem to hear the same comment from my clients where they can tell that I absolutely love what I do. I think that comes with having the confidence your course instilled in me. I never forget where I started and where your course has taken me, and I just wanted to say thank you so much. How cool is that? 4 years ago. Oh my gosh, love her. All right, so enough of the sales spiel. Now we're going to talk vacants. There's your vacant. There's one of them. All right, vacant homes take time when you're calculating for vacants. It's your design time, your furniture, and your accessories. That's your cost. Now, I broke up furniture and accessories for a reason, because some of you will use the furniture rental company. That's the way I recommend you start. And some will use your own, right? So those are your costs. Buying wholesale, building out rooms. A vacant service is more of an investment. So if you have more of the time and more of the money, vacant homes can be very, very lucrative. But they take some steps to follow up. In fact, in my training, I have kind of the planning checklist, and it's like check, 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 so that you're already have all your forms in place and you're ready to handle this. And your first thing is to go to your local furniture rental company if you do not have, and to research delivery companies right there and find out the best ones. See, all those things. I'm going to talk to you about those costs. So you can imagine. Let's talk about that. First of all, do not buy a bunch of stuff until your marketing supports it. That's one thing I walk people through in my training. You don't have to go shopping without having the business first, because you get paid up front. So first things first, costs versus bid. You got to be very clear on your cost. You need to cover your hourly. You're going to probably put in at least 8 hours in a vacant job. You got your furniture rental cost. You want your inventory cost to be paid. If you have your own inventory, you want it to be paid off within 5 to 10 months. You got your storage costs, your packing material, Can you all hear me okay in the chat room? Put yes if you can. I'm going to make sure you can. Yeah, thank you, Boston Rob, guy. All right, you've got your moving truck. I mean, there are costs. It's very doable. And your assistant cost. Thank you, guys. Because guess what? You're not going to move that couch by yourself. You know what? I love the story when people say, yeah, I got to a job and I was like, how am I going to move this couch by myself? Don't do that. Don't worry, I've got some tips for you. Movers can be affordable. In fact, in that same RISA guide, I should show you, the costs were all over the board. Price shop, negotiate. You are not the average person that's the one-time moving. That mover should be really working with you because you're going to be giving them volume, right? Collaborate through your local RISA chapter. Stagers in my local RISA chapter, we help one another. If I need a help, an assistant, I can bring in another RISA member. They are learning, they're seeing on the job how things work, and they're loving it. I'm going to see, and I've got to, whoops. Okay, another tip, hire last. Everyone thinks I need to just up and hire people. I love it. So somebody said, yeah. Use Indeed, interns from colleges, temp agencies. Please do not raise your hand. Whoever's doing that, stop it. Okay, being clear on your cost. Let's talk. This is where we're going to talk shopping, which is pretty fun. Buying wholesale. How many of them in the chat room already go to market and buy wholesale? Go ahead and put me. Yes, I do. Or tell me what market you go to, whether it's the Las Vegas market, High Point, Atlanta. I'd love to know. Great. Yeah, no, a lot of people don't. I have veteran stagers, longtime veteran stagers who still don't buy wholesale. They keep their business very simple accounting wise. I think that's good too. You can still do that. Okay. But buying wholesale will greatly lower your expenses. It does, because part of our pricing is based on some of those expenses. So get your wholesale license. A lot of people say, how do I do that? Obviously, there's links in my training that show people exactly how, but all you need to do is Google it too. Go to, that's High Point, Las Vegas market. I'm going to show you some photos of what that looks like. You will be amazed. How do you know when all these markets are? Go to Furniture Today. This link is in your notes. It will tell you when the Atlanta, High Point, Las Vegas, so that you can make plans to go and give yourself many days. Yeah. The RISA buying group too. I love that, Laura. You're absolutely right, which is, part of these places at market. Okay, here's a photo of me at market. Here's where we're going to talk about some of our favorite vendors. So get ready in the chat room to type away. Okay, this is me and my sister. These buildings, these 3 huge high rises behind us, that is the market if you've never been, and they're filled with furnishing vendors wholesale. So good deals. So let's talk about my favorite staging furniture stores. And I must say the RISA buying group. So I have to preface, RISA buying group is a buying group where you can get even deeper, great discounts on these wholesale vendors that I'm talking about here through the Real Estate Staging Association, which is awesome. Them and On-Site Door I'm going to talk about in just a bit. But now I'm just going to talk about the individual stores, because as I go to market, when you sign up for market, you get this not so little guide with all the vendors. So I'm outlining my my event, where I'm going to go, and what am I going to see, and who I'm going to meet with. So go ahead, yeah, if you guys are going. List in the chat room your favorite, and this is outside. Obviously, a lot of us, we all go to Pottery Barn, Target, Home Goods. Those are not wholesale vendors. Those are retail. You can still get discounts at Pottery Barn and Williams and Sonoma. I love it. I mean, that's all in my training too. Ballards, when you become a stager, if you're a shopper, then automatically in my training, you're going to get a lot of discounts. But wholesale means you get almost like 50%, like deep discounts. This is what interior designers obviously do. But for staging furniture, because keep in mind, this furniture doesn't have to be super comfortable, just has to look good and be cheap. Diamond Sofa, one of my favorites. For sofas, Classic Home, one of my favorites. This is for furniture. I see some of you listed. Home Elegance, Coaster, I've heard they are not as reliable, but you know, they could clean up their act. MPD, New Pacific Direct, I love them. It's kind of more mid-century, modern, kind of unique pieces, which I kind of love. Again, all of these are very reasonable furniture stores, very reasonable. That's why these are for staging. I have some of my favorites for design, don't worry. To show you how reasonable, this entire table set, you see this huge table set is $560 with all the chairs. I mean, you're not going to find anything like that at Pottery Barn or Ballard or anything, right? That's a pretty good deal. I think we can all agree on that. This couch, not a fan of the pillows, but the simple kind of linen couch. It's a couch and love seat set, $858. Pretty good deal, right? Yeah, there's your price. So those are deep discounts that you get in market. This full bed, $279. That's, you know, you can't probably get that price, you know, anywhere for these kind of more bigger scale furnishings, because I know you can sometimes get cheap prices at, you know, Target or whatever, but those are small scale. That's fine if you want to be small scale, but I'm just giving you some of my favorites. You guys are good. Now I want you guys to list your favorite sources for filler. When I say filler, your tchotchkes, you know, these kind of things that you put on the coffee tables. I call it filler. Sagebrook Home is one of my favorite. Uttermost, yes, you guys. IMAX, Stylecraft, the Import Collection, Allstate Living, and DW Silks for Greenery, some of my favorites. This is where I said you might need to take a photo of the screen. This Fiddly Fig Tree, I think it's like a 5 foot, 6 foot, $89. That's a pretty good deal. These are not cheap. I want to say it, Ballards are like $500. Yeah, at home. Oh, you guys have a good list. These botanicals, you know, this is probably Uttermost, $119. You know, this is what I do. So just so you know, in my training, I actually have like hundreds of photos where I list people and I show them the kind of deals they can get. Here's more botanicals. All 6 of these, only $119. So that's what I mean when I talk wholesale and the kind of deals that you can get. Okay, this is what I mean when you're like a kid in the candy store. This is just like walking through market and seeing these kind of booths. Your art vendors, Paragon, Artist Guild, Stylecraft. Oops, Paragon, Artist Guild, Stylecraft. Those are my favorite art. This is kind of what that looks like, and you can see the kind of deals that you can get. It's pretty nice. I know I'm going fast. I got a lot to show you. Stylecraft also is really good for lighting, which I'm going to get to next. I really love it. These lamps, look at, they had like walls of lamps, all of them, $50. Unbelievable. Renwell, that's another good one, Lori. So my favorite lighting sources, you know, for lamps, Stylecraft, Hudson Valley, Uttermost, of course, they do a lot. Elk, Rejuvenation. What's your favorite lighting? Go ahead. Angeline, yes, when you go to market, each one of them has their own little set rules. I'm going to take questions at the end, but they each have their own minimums and their own, you know, ways that they ship and things like that. And I have a little workaround, a way around it that I'm going to show you that you're going to love. But yeah, if this is a vendor you're going to use a ton of, then it's worth it. You're going to meet those minimums pretty easily. They're getting easier and easier, which I kind of love. All right. What are your favorite textile, pillows, bedding? I love, you know, four hands. I'm going to talk about that even more when it's like my favorite design. Loloi, I never pronounce that right. Curated Cravat, Dovetail, Oskin, and Hyper Living. Yeah, yeah. And we all go to Home Goods, but your clients can go to Home Goods too. This is just a place where you can get kind of pretty set items that you know look good. This is just one of the pillow walls at the market, which is kind of fun. Okay, my favorite design vendors, because a lot of your staging is leading to design. Four Hands. This is hot. How many of you guys know Four Hands? It is beautiful stuff. Dovetail, Caracole, Bungalow 5, Alder and Tweed, Gabby Home. What are your favorite design vendors? Just curious. And yes, you know, these products, if you shop Wayfair, you can find all of these vendors on Wayfair for twice as much. So that's the beauty of going to the market. But you can go to vendors like the Risa Buying Group or Onside Door, and most all of those vendors are on there. And this is what's new to our industry. I've posted about this previously if you want to go into my blog, but this is extensively in my training. Using Onside Door, it's basically a conglomerate of all of those vendors where you can create collections or boards like this. So this is me creating a collection for a client, putting it in a design files board. This is an e-design. And if they click to shop on any one of these items, I make 50% of whatever, I mean, almost about, it's anywhere from 30 to 50% of whatever they buy. A very simple business model for interior design. Yeah, Angeline says she used SideDoor to create a shop on her website. Our websites include like a shop. So right now, this is all new stuff. If you're an interior designer and you don't have like a shop, you can showcase ways. I don't know about you, but do you love looking at these boards? Go ahead in the chat room and you can put yes, but they draw people's attention and they're very noticeable in social media, right? We're creating more, doing more. These are all wholesale. But yeah, so it's so exciting to see where our industry is. So if you're even on the fence, you're going to love this industry because there's so much to do, so many directions you can go with your business. I talk about most all those directions in my training. That's why it's pretty extensive, but it's just exciting. I just want to encourage you. If you don't have, here's where I got to get honest with you. I'm going to be like my sister is with me. I'm going to get sister honest with you. If you don't have a good contract for Vacant, forget about it. If you're just trying to cobble your business together and, you haven't taken any trainings at all and you don't even have that's going to be tough. If you think that price is the most important thing and you're just going to keep lowering your price, you're going to fail. Like I said, I've been training people for many, many years, and I have seen trainers come and go. I've trained my competition. Some trainers actually started going through my training. Isn't that exciting? Anyway, I've seen stagers come and go, and it's usually because they were solely focused on price. It is not, you see from these furnishings, we can be better. If you judge your market by what one negative Nelly agent may have told you, or somebody didn't like the way you did something, and that really hurt your feelings, I know we're creatives and it does hurt our feelings. We got to move past it. You're going to fail. So let's talk about that critical review. If you're working from a place of fear and not from confidence, you're going to fail. Now, it's really easy to be fearful. Guys, I get it. I tell you, every time I do one of these trainings, I get kind of fearful, but then I can think about all that I know and all that I can share and all of my knowledge, and that gives me confidence. So when you have knowledge and you have all the resources, you will get confident. If you're relying on your phone to ring and not marketing smartly, that's going to be tricky. You will fail. So I hate to be negative. And if you're easily discounted or easily pushed around, that's going to be tough. You get it. Because agents are expert negotiators. They're salespeople who respect the same. If they will always ask, that's just part of good negotiating. They're always going to ask to lower your price. And if you give an inch, you know that saying, they're going to take a mile. So don't give an inch. I'm going to walk you through how not to give an inch. That's going to be key. This is my epiphany. They're also very reasonable business people who understand the value of staging. Great news. They used to not understand the value of staging, 15 years ago, or even 10 years ago. They want the same thing as you, and they want their listings to look good and sell for the best price, right? We want that. Their reputation matters to them. That's why I'm so key on giving these Canva templates in my training as flyers where people can tweak them to their heart's content, and it's making agents look good, right? The agent, my stagers can say, hey, if you have me come into all your listings, here's some flyers you can use, and then what my stagers put in their information, and it's just making the agent look good. It's giving them direction, right? That's our job, is to make them look good, and that's why I have so many resources like that in my training for my members. So here's what you need to do. You need to connect with the decision makers. You want to pre-qualify on the price of that vacant home. You're not going to sell yourself. You should not sell yourself based on price, but position your business on quality and position it on what the home needs. There's a difference, right? It's not about low price. It's what the home needs. Not every job is the same. I showed you that photo. Listen, ask questions, and get a read on the clients to understand their pain points. Know how to sell yourself without being salesy. I'm going to have to skip this. I'm running out of time. Honesty in relationship, not overselling, but building your brand, not afraid to say no. Can you guys all hear me okay? So I'm still getting people saying that. And looking the part. I know if you were on my last workshop I did like 2 months ago, we just dialed in our website product. So if you're struggling with that or worried about how am I going to look good, we have all your marketing materials that that you just dial in Canva in my training, and a website product as a separate price if you need it, specifically for stagers. And it looks good. It makes you look good. So how do you build some confidence and some tough love? So you got process, structure, training. Here's my sales spiel. After this, I'm going to give you my epiphany on vacant homes. I'm going to totally lay it out how you should build a vacant home. Funnel marketing, access support, resource services. So if you have never taken my training, it's going to give you everything you need to know to be successful in this industry. I've been around a long time, and anything that was needed, I put in there. I'm already putting in a Canva staging report. There's things I add on a weekly, monthly basis, and you can see it's 3 weeks of intense materials, but it walks you through, pick, choose. My veterans, I have a lot of veteran stagers who jump in because it's not like I require you to go through everything. No, this is about a resource for your business. I am your business partner throughout, and we go through everything any question that you get. So I give you all of, like I said, the flyers, the checklists, the proposals in Word for both occupied and staging. I give you the order forms so that you know what to say whenever anyone calls you for holiday design, Airbnb, model homes. I get an order form for everything. You saw the staging report walkthrough guide. I give you contracts. So you want the contract for that vacant home so you're covered. The checklist, so you make sure you bring the right things on each thing. And everything's designed to make you look good. Just added an open house checklist flyer in Canva that my stagers are using and giving to agents, makes them look good. Because the very point is, when you have A to Z training that's always evolving, I'm one of the few trainers that I can change my training tomorrow on the dime because it's all online. That's the key to having it online, because our industry, can we agree that the real estate design industry trends are always changing? So it's good that I can get in there and update and change things. We give you absolute support. You can always refer back to it. And you also receive a hard copy manual. So any questions? So, I'm going to tell you, you guys have said, any questions on all of that, the training? I get testimonials daily. We have 100% guarantee. We don't have anyone unhappy. In preparation, she spent hundreds of hours trying to learn about design, all of that, and she wished she did the program last year. I hear that a lot of people. If you signed up for another training, like poor Brandy did, she signed up for another training, $700. She didn't get a fraction of the information, and you struggle. I don't want you struggling. That's the whole point. Danielle, after one day in the training, opened her eyes. She realized she was undoing a lot of the things that she spent months doing. I don't want that for you, you guys. Angeline, the staging report in Canva will be added to the training late next week. You'll see it. Everything's changing because confidence comes from knowledge. So investing in your learning will inevitably lead to more confidence. So I am going to put that link up. Here we go. There's the link again. Dream big. It is the same coupon, you guys. $50 off. And I got to preface this by saying, all my members know I have been moving my trainings to this more awesome, kind of more robust platform, and I've been redoing my trainings as I go. So I've already done every single product except for my staging and design. Once I finish that, my prices are going up, up, up. So right now, the course is $9.99. I have not raised that price in pretty much all the years that I've been doing this, and you get a $50 discount, so it'd be $9.50 basically, using that coupon code Dream Big. If you're interested, go ahead and click on that button and join the party, join the group. I haven't had anyone regret it. I really haven't. So what was I going to say? So yeah, so that is your big discount. This is probably the last time I'm going to give a discount on that training for a long time. I'm doing an e-design training in a few weeks, and after that, yeah, I'm doing a marketing training. So if you were like on the fence waiting for this is your time, because it's like I said, as soon as I redo that training and dial in different pieces, everything's going to change on that. Just scare you, but I'm just being honest, just like I did with the website product that went up. So I'm always very transparent about the pricing. And this is the only time I give discounts is through these workshops. And it's just $50. If $50 is going to make you pursue that dream and get on the right track with it, then I'm doing that, right? Oh, good. Yoshika, you're going to love it. Oh, yeah, e-design. No, Sharon, it doesn't apply to the e-design, everybody else. I'm doing that one in 3 weeks, so stay tuned. Thank you, guys. You guys are great. Sharon, yeah, if you're my HSR members, whoops, have access. So focus on what you can control. I'm going to get back to my epiphany. If we have questions on the training, I'm going to answer them for you guys. Thanks. Great, Alma. You're going to love it. So use that link. Check it out. It's a ton of information. I've added information to the training that's not even on my buy page. I can't even keep up with that. So I'm going to try. That's why we're raising the price, because it's a lot of good stuff that we could, other people would charge you separately for each one of just the one Canva template that I give you. That Canva template stage report, someone would charge you like $150 for it. I just put that stuff in the training. I want you to be successful. I don't want a piecemeal, and I never nickel and dime. It is what it is. And all my people know that. And that's where you see, like, I didn't plan these people in the chat room to say good stuff. I'm super excited for them. They're all just great people. Marta, the color course. Yeah, this is a good discount. The color course with this Dream Big discount would be $6.99. So it's a good deal. It's the best price you're going to get, because I redid that and I haven't raised the price on that, but I'm probably going to too, because I've redid all these things. Thank you, Angeline. All right. So I'm going to answer any questions later on the training, but I'm going to get back to this because I know we've got some big news for you. I'm going to skip that. Okay, here's where we're going to get to my epiphany. A lot of you guys, tell me if this feels like you're paralyzed by overanalyzing for vacant staging bids. So I know this is why a lot of people get frustrated with pricing. How do I price? I showed you already how to price occupieds, how to price your staging days. Let's talk vacant staging. Polls are all over the board. Stagers are too focused on price when they are bidding on a project. They're just always like, what was the price of that stager? How can I get lower than them, right? They're not simple with their pricing. They're not consistent with their pricing. They're not efficient with their pricing. It's taking them a long time to do bids. How many of you guys are feeling this sort of stuff? The coupon you guys are asking, Scott will put it in there. It's Dream Big. They're wasting time building proposals. They're wasting time on choosing furniture before even getting the job. Don't jump ahead. Remember, steps, steps, steps. I talk people through that in the training. You're crunching too many numbers. I've seen so many trainings on pricing. If you've taken any other training on pricing, you know what they tell you? Analyze your costs, put them in a spreadsheet. I mean, I agree, that's good. Make sure but at the end of the day, your clients don't care about your costs. They care about price and what you're going to give them, how you communicate that. So that's why I shift that paradigm in this training. So you won't be crunching too many numbers. Or I see a lot of stagers are working with an incorrect framework. They're working on their own limitations instead of like what they're doing for the home. They're factoring in their full hourly. Oh, I charge $100 an hour, but they're doing grunt assistant work, moving stuff around the room. So that's why you need assistance, which I talked about as an expense to lower that expense. So that's just not being efficient. They don't know their location norms and pricing, or they're giving away too much info in their proposals and bids. They're detailing like every item. Don't need to do that. And the cost for each item, please don't do that. So this is why as stagers, we've had this frustration with vacant staging. What is the cost? You saw it's all over the board. Here's my epiphany, because I've already talked to you. You know your area. I'm really sad because Fixer used to have a thing where you could put in your zip code and it would tell you your up or down percentage. It would basically tell you the cost of work in your area. But I know a lot of us know this, intuitively. And then I also have, you might want to take a photo of this, what area is your area closest to? Like I'm in San Diego and I'm an up 13%, meaning if Denver, Colorado if this is the base price, I'm going to give you the base price, don't worry. I would charge 13% more living in San Diego and 6% less in Virginia. You know, there's this like sliding scale. Obviously, certain areas are a lot higher, like San Francisco, New York, right? Certain areas are lower because it depends on the price of homes and cost of living. But even if you started with just my base costs and didn't factor in because you just thought, I don't know, I think my location is just about standard, you can't go wrong with this. Okay, ready? So here's what I want you to do. You're going to charge, this is my epiphany. I don't think you can go wrong with this. You're going to charge $500 to $1,500 sliding scale per room, depending on the size and luxury level of the home for 30 days. So a couple things you should know. The kitchen and 1 to 2 baths is considered one room. And when I say kitchen, I mean no furniture is going in there, maybe bar stools, okay? It's not like a nook. It's just a kitchen, so you can include that. Any 2 small side spaces would be like another room, right? Any outdoor room, because everybody asks me this, add 30% because any furniture you put outside is going to get ruined, right? So don't forget that. So let's say my area is San Diego. I know 500 is like the average price. It's a little more expensive where I live, so I'm going to bump that. I'm going to add 13 to 15 to 20%. It's not that much, right? That means my sliding scale goes from instead of 500 to 1,500, goes from 565 to 1,695. So you see where I'm saying you want to find your sliding scale. That's not that hard. Okay. Are you Shreveport, Louisiana, or are you Newport Beach, right? So you kind of know where you are, and if you think you're standard, just go with 500. A small townhome under 1,200 square feet in my area is 565 to 650. It'd be like 500 to 625 if you're just a standard area. A small size home, you're inching it up, right? A lot of people look at this number, you want to take a photo of this, but they look at this and they go, oh, so Audra's saying every room is 500. No, I'm not saying that. You're, again, thinking about the price. I'm saying a small townhome, small scale furnishings that cost you next to nothing because you got them at Target or somewhere really cheap because they were a teeny little couch, teeny chair. That's your 500 per room. Do you see where I'm going here? But your standard size home, your mid-size home is more like 700 to 800 per room. Your larger scale is more like 800 to 950, and your large luxury is at 1,000. Do you see where I'm going? This includes everything. I love it you said that. And I'm going to walk you through this. You guys are asking questions. Let me get through this, and then you can do the questions. It's a very simple model, but you'll see the way it works. So it's going to make you more credible, and here's how it does it. You're clear, you're confident on your pricing. You are pricing per room flat fee. That's it. Thus, you're credible. You're pricing and positioning on authority, the luxury and scale of the home, not on, oh, I just came and I don't know. No, it's based on the luxury and scale of the home. It's on the product and not on you and your costs. You've kept it simple for your client. I am a big believer in the keep it simple, stupid mode. You've allowed the client to value down to afford you. Let's say they called you, they wanted their whole house staged for, X amount. Well, here's my price for those 8 rooms, right? 8 rooms times $800. Oh God, now I got to do the math, right? If it's a really nice home, so then they can go, oh, maybe I don't need 8 rooms. Maybe I just want 5 rooms, right? And you're able to screen out the looky-loos and the low-hanging fruit while making them think. Don't worry, guys. I'm going to get to the questions. I'm going to walk you through. You're bidding from a position, but listen to this because this part's important, because you're bidding from a position of authority and knowledge, not from a panic position of pricing. You're connecting the cost of what they're getting with the luxury and what you're putting in, the furnishings. So they understand, if you're positioning it that way from this bidding standpoint, that's where you're seeing it at. You're educating while bidding. You're using that sliding scale. And you should always make money. You're actually right in there on every stager that charges. One thing that I do in the proposals that I give my members is I always include, part of your proposal should also include something like this. Take a photo of it if you need. And in the proposals that I give my members in PowerPoint, it's top tips for the right stager. It's educating, because that is important. That's an important part, because people don't just go for the lowest price. If you were looking for the lowest price for a couch, you'd go to Walmart, right? Or wherever. Are you going to go to Walmart for your couch? No, right? It's about Walmart or Restoration Hardware. What does the home need? And that's how you're positioning your pricing. It is a non-negotiable price because it's based on the home, right? It's based on the home. You're not going to want to put cheap, small scale furnishings in a luxury home. That won't look good and it's going to hurt your reputation. Here's my hot tips, and this is going to get to your questions. Always, I don't think it's worth going out if you're not making at least $1,500, right? So have a minimum of 3 rooms. What are those 3 rooms? Your kitchen and 1 bath. Your kitchen and the main bath, 2 baths, are 1. And then let's say living room, dining room. That's your 3 rooms. Think like a carpet cleaner. I mean, that's what they do. They're not going to clean an extra room. 3 rooms. Let's say you do 3 rooms in a townhome. It's the kitchen, the 2 main baths, the living area, and the nook. Not even a master bedroom. $1,500, right? That's the smallest house. That's a teeny scale. I mean, you wouldn't even probably be putting about even $5,000 of furnishings in a home like that. When I say small, teeny, minimal, and then you're making 1,000, this is how you make it. Again, different for the 2,000 square foot house. I'm going to walk you through that. Lower your cost to fit that simplified range. Shop smart. Negotiate with the furniture rental. I'm going to walk you through second month. Don't worry, you guys. Get paid up front at the signing of the contract. You're not chasing money. Never. You are able to provide a quick estimate over the phone. You really can, which would save you a lot of time. In fact, this is my order form for my members over the phone. You could see it, year built, how old, number of rooms, is this vacant? Then all those red questions are the things you're going to ask. If I know they want the formal dining room, nook, bar stools in the kitchen, how many built-ins, because that's a factor, right? Might eke up on that percentage. Separate living room, what's the scale? I already know the square footage, so I know whether it's large or small. And then, of course, I ask luxury level between 1 and 10. I'm going to know right away. Here's an example of a proposal I give to my members. And let's say this is a standard kind of home. This is a 2,000 square foot home where I said it's about $750 a room. You can see we're outlining the rooms that they want staged. I want to say that's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces, 7 rooms, 7 times 750. There's the price. 5, 20, 50. And a lot of you, because trust me, I've talked to stagers all over the country. They're like, wow, that's kind of what I charge. But I do a bunch of crunching of numbers, and then I'm really frustrated with it. It takes me forever, right? And then the monthly renewal rate, is on top of that. I'm going to show you what that is. You will make more on some homes than others, right? Some homes you'll probably be putting in more, some less. But the efficiency and the speed of which, and the time in which you can bid, it makes a huge difference, you guys. You'll charge a 20 to 30% rental fee on your furnishings, whatever the cost of that, after 30 days. How good is the agent? So in that example, it was a 20%, it was $1,000 a month rental fee. And really at that point, when somebody kind of balks, I say, if the home is priced right, again, I'm a stager, that's the agent's responsibility. It will sell in this real estate market. It will sell. But putting your furnishings in a home, there's cost to that, right? So you are free to do what you love rather than stress over the minimal difference in your costs. I just quoted a, 5 space room, medium home, not even a luxury home, at $5,000. You could see from that RISA guide, the luxury homes, the stagers weren't hardly, but you can see the way it was positioned and the way that makes sense to clients. If you're positioning on quality, luxury, and a per room basis, they could value it down. Yes, it takes into consideration, Martha, the entire costs. Yeah, $5,000 on an average home. Would most of you, if you're stagers, would you be pretty happy to make $5,000 on just an average? This is not a luxury home, you guys, just average furnishings for, what did I say? It was 6 spaces. Yeah. That's more than what the average bear is sometimes making. And when I say it is, you're positioning on what is the luxury. Yeah. And I don't think I'm saying that you're too high, because when you're positioning it differently on a per room, they can go lower, right? Let's take off a couple rooms. You don't need to stage the office. It'd be nice, but you don't need to. So you're free to do this. It'll save you so much time. It's easy actually then to be kind of firm once you kind of know your sliding scale. You're just like boom, 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 which is what I just, I'm just off the top of my head telling you what that is. And that's my San Diego price, right? Different than, you can slide it down if that seems a little, but you don't have to slide it much. You're firm on your sliding scale. And the thing about being firm means when people know that your price is firm, guess what? They don't argue with you. They don't try and negotiate. They didn't hear from another agent that your price was a whole lot lower, right? Remember, agents talk. So you're being firm on your pricing. You're knowing what your deliverable is, and it's based on the product and not on your costs. I love it. And it can easily work with rentals. For those of you like, oh, Audra, I don't have any, I don't even know where to get started. Here's the price for furniture rental stuff. This is a 2-month lease. This is your little apartment. It's not that much. And these are teeny little things you put in, the big stuff, and then you put in the little stuff. As I said, I'm going to talk truthfully. Full stuff's not free. For $950, my training, it's a steal, you guys. Without the knowledge and the good contract, that's kind of important. All of this, I can't, it's only been an hour. I'm giving you free information. I expand a whole lot more in my training, but do you feel like you learned something from this? I hope you did. Samara, yeah, I'd say it's pretty similar. I'd say LA is probably a little more expensive because there's more hoops and longer drive times. You might want to eke that up. You guys are great. Yeah. Yeah, I always say this. If you learn something, always say, if you like the hour with me, imagine 3 weeks with me. Imagine 30 days. This is exactly how I train. That's why I give you a glimpse of the way I train. The coupon code is Dream Big. Yes, that pricing includes mover. That's your overhead. How simple that is you don't even have to worry about. Get your costs down, and then you can just price per room. Boom, boom, boom. Proposal's done in 2 minutes instead of 10 hours. Oh, Deb, I'm sorry about your awful training. Yeah, that's okay. You can always, you're $50 off here is a good deal. Here's someone who said she was trying to, train herself for a year. Because the thing is even if you're on the fence with becoming a stager and designer, if I didn't tell you how awesome this industry is, you're getting discounts, you're loving it. I have a lot of my friends who are like, Audra, I'm taking your training. This is awesome. Everything I hear from people is they regret not starting this earlier. That's their big regret. I mean, you only have so much time in life. We are creatives. This is kind of what we do, and we love it. My training is very inspiring, but it's more confidence building. I always tell people, day 1, you're scared and excited. Day 21, you're confident and still excited. You're going to love what you do. The code is good. Thank you, Scott. Friday at midnight, code goes down. Like I said, it's the best price ever. I'm not, I don't know, like I said, since I'm redoing so much and adding so much cool stuff and this price is different. I love this story. This is the story of Jane, Michael Interiors. So she's like many of you who were like been looking into the industry. She just felt dead without, using her creativity. She had that aha moment. It was probably during a workshop. Her first staging job, she did a 4,500 square foot new build. Now this woman's a rock star, right? If you can come out of any training and do that, and that home had been sitting on the market 10 months, got a contract in 2 days. How awesome. Alma, you're going to love it. Dream big. Like I said, give me your passion, 30 days, $950. I'm going to show you how to create a successful staging and design business. Now, those are totally different. Somebody, Janita, what about pricing range fees when renting furniture? Janita, it's the same. I just gave you exactly how to bid. Talk to the furniture rental company, get your main pieces low, start buying maybe some simple chairs, furniture to lower it wholesale, obviously your accessories, but you can do it. You can fit in that range. Every stager does. And if you can't fit in that range, you can't even, you're hardly competing, because I'm actually giving you a price point that's a little bit above the range. I'm not telling you how to be the low price leader. I'm telling you how to showcase your business, not based on price, but on quality and communication and expectation. Any tips for window treatment? Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that one. Do we need a resale license for market and trade discounts? Yes. So Shelley, just go to Google, look up wholesale resale license in my area. You can do it online in 10 minutes. Do accessories stay with, the client, or do we retrieve them and store for other jobs? I'm assuming you're talking about obviously vacants, yes, and even occupied. Yes, ideally in an occupied, go shopping with the client. Let them get accessories that match their things. You don't want to put necessarily your things in there. The color course is at its own pace. It is amazing. It's only 3 days. I mean, you can get through that in 3 days, add that service to your business, and be ready to roll. You can't get wholesale price, Athena, without that wholesale license. Wholesale, that's what I mean. Oh, good, Lisa, I'm so glad it was helpful. Again, it's all about positioning, and so much of my training walks you through. It's just a different mindset. We have been positioning ourselves on price instead of quality and the home. Where do your men looking wholesale decor for holiday? Oh, Lindsay, that's a great question. And I can't think of the places offhand, but I do have a list. It's in my holiday design training. But I do have a list, and you can actually go online and start even looking at their list, and it is categorized. So a good start is to go to the market. There's not very many Christmas stuff. Obviously, Pottery Barn, it's not wholesale though. Yes, you can get wholesale furniture online, Betsy, without going to Vegas. I showed you 2 easy ways, the Risa Buying Group and On-Side Door. Done. You don't even have to travel. You don't even have to open up, no minimums, no nothing. It's just you open up your accounts. I mean, with Risa, there probably still is, but On-Side Door, there's not. Replay goes out tomorrow morning. I know some of you might want to watch it. It goes fast. You don't ask them on their budget. Again, Martha, you're talking about their budget and not what the home needs, because as stagers we need to put in what the home needs. I love that question, because you're talking, what you just said is how every stager does it. They approach the home based on people's budget, and so it's on price and not the home. And do we want to stage the home wrong? Do we want to put small scale items in a larger scale home? No, it would look terrible. So that's why we're focusing on the right way to design. We have to step up as designers to do that. Yeah, how do you price jobs that are further away? You charge for your drive time. It's your time. You always know your hourly. What's your hourly? If it's $100, it's an hour and a half. Well, guess what? I'm going to tack $300 on that. It's for an hour and a half drive each way. Yes, tax resale license, wholesale license. Every state uses a different word for it. Great inspiration to get my HSR training. Oh, good. Nicole, I'm so glad. Don't forget, the HSR training is self-paced. I tell people the journey is really part of the process, and just having fun with it as a creative. And there's no hurry. You have a year as a member to get through it. Then you can even renew, and then do it again. But you don't even have to. Great. You guys are great. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I went late. Cheers to you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening. I hope you will join me. Do not unsubscribe, because I'll be sending the replay, and then I'll also be sending our next workshop. Let's go even bigger. I had, I think, almost 500 people on this one. Let's go even bigger on the next one. It's in 3 weeks. We're going to talk about e-design, building design plans. This is where we're talking about launching. A lot of you as stagers don't know how to transition or add design to your business. I got you covered with e-design. You're going to love it. But this one's fun too. All right. So for those of you who did buy and are coming aboard, thank you. You're going to love it. Have a wonderful night, and I'll see you in the next event.